Hi there, Scary Gary. Sure glad you guys came back for another week. Well, we're leaving Hinton, Alberta, and we're heading north on our trek to Alaska, with our first stop going to be at Dawson's Creek. Now, when I first started up, I basically find the campgrounds. I always try to be under 400 miles, which, in kilometers, that's, what something. I'll put it on here in a second. And it gets a little bit when you're looking at, and I look at the time, how long it takes to drive. And I found this campground up in Dawson's Creek that's called the Mile Zero Campground, which is virtually right there at the beginning of the Alcon, the Alaskan Highway. And it was what my Google stated was that it was 284 miles, which is 457 kilometers, and it said it was going to take 5 hours and 59 minutes. Now, it's a pretty good day, but what it had me doing was it had me taking Alberta Highway 40, which is a very scenic route. It's called the Buckhorn Highway. I read somewhere where it was one of the highest paved roads there is. So I kind of did some research on it, watched some YouTube videos, and most of them didn't look that bad. If you look on Wikipedia, Wikipedia says there's like 2 sections or 3 sections of it that aren't paved at all. But they were saying it was pretty good, and I was halfway tempted to go ahead and go. And I looked at one other video that was actually only posted like 2 weeks before the date we were going to go up there, and it was showing that they had caught a major snow up there. Now we're talking, this is late August, early September, so yeah, snow's possible. So that told us right then, okay, we're going to head back toward Alberta, and then we're going to head and get up to 43, which is a major road. It's 4-lane road, and actually it's 369 miles, which is 594 kilometers, but it only supposed to take us 4 hours and 55 minutes. So it's like almost close to 100 miles over, 150 kilometers over, but it's saying it's going to be an hour less. Now, granted, these are all Google times off of what they say, and when you're driving with a trailer, don't use Google times. My rule of thumb is always add an hour to it. So we decided to go that route. And it took us basically from Hinton to a little town called Edison, and then it kind of jumped us off on some secondary but paved roads. And we were going to go and hit a north-south road and end up at Whitecourt, and that's where we're going to hit 43, so we don't have to go all the way into Alberta, into Edmonton. And then we would go up and go into Grand Prairie and then on over to Dawson's Creek and, make a fairly good trip. All right, so the mistake I made right off the bat was I set my GPS on my phone. And the second mistake I made was we were listening to satellite radio. When we're listening to satellite radio, you can't hear the GPS on my phone talk to you. You have to have it on like a podcast or music that's on my phone going through the truck. So we're going along and we missed a right turn. And we ran about 2 more miles. The pavement ran out. Then we're going on gravel. So first thing I'm thinking, well, maybe it's a section they're fixing, so it's just better. And just so we kept going, we kept going, we kept going. We only saw 2 work trucks up there, which I flagged down the second one and talked to the gentleman. And we'd traveled on that road a fair distance because it was about 45 minutes from where we ran out off the pavement. And I says, does this get us up to 43? He says, yeah, it gets us up there. And I said, but it gets really kind of sketchy that last 15 miles, he said. And I looked at, and I said to him, well, do you think we can make it? And he looked back at the trailer and he looked at me and he goes, I wouldn't do it. So we turned around, we came back the 45 minutes, went back on the paved road, and we started our supposed 4 hour and 55 minute trip up to Dawson's Creek, but we had to add an hour and a half a minimum, so it was definitely a learning experience. Now, when we got to Dawson's Creek, like I started out saying, we stayed at the Mile Zero Park. And like full hookups, 50 amp. I looked online, and right now the cost is $50 for pull through 50 amp. We were on a pull through 50 amp, and I paid $49 back last fall. So hasn't gone up too terribly much, which is good. That's somewhat of an older campground. It had a laundry there. It did have bathhouses. It had playgrounds. It was asphalt where we stayed on the pull through, but there is some that were just gravel and some that just grass areas. They had about 80 spots out there, which, I mean, that's a combination of tent, and I'm sure they weren't all full hookups. But it was right beside the Walter Wright Pioneer Village, which that is a kind of a museum or like a small little town that's set up like it was back in the pioneer days of that area, and it had a splash pad right beside it too, which was part of the whole ordeal. But you know, we are talking, this is wintertime, so that wasn't operated. And if you even wanted to play golf and spend some time there, was a golf course right beside it. So it did have Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi was a little bit on the weak side, but you know, hey, you know, we actually got to stream a little because there wasn't much in the way of TV reception up there. We're getting into the places where it's going to be, we're going to either have to stream, or we're going to have the Wi-Fi, or we're going to have to, you know, and unfortunately, as I talked about a few weeks back, satellites of the kind we have doesn't work up there. But it was a comfortable evening. We just spent the evening there. The town of Dawson's Creek, grocery stores, restaurants. It's a fair-sized town. And that's where the sign is, talks about the Alaskan Highway, which Mary Lou and I did go up there, which honestly is going to be what my next video is going to be on. I'm going to talk to you about what we experienced on the Alcon or Alaskan Highway in the fall of 2022. Well, I hope this has been informative, and I sure hope to see you guys next time.
If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up.
Turn on your post notifications.
Put the comments down below.
Subscribe to make me happy.
Right!